Hello, and welcome to Totally Schway, a podcast about the DCAU most of the time, and whatever the hell else I want it to be about, which will come in the next episode, because it will be about whatever the hell else I want it to be about. My name is Mary.
And my name is Luke.
And today we're going to talk about Calendar Girl, or is it Calendar Woman?
Calendar Girl, that's what Bullock calls her.
Yeah, cool. But before we do that, do you have any news for me, Luke?
Oh, I don't think so, other than a little tiny bit of news.
I have news.
Why don't you go first then?
Warner Brothers, I love you. Stop claiming my videos. It's one thing to claim videos, okay? But to claim it at 11 o'clock at night when I'm tucked away in bed doing my crossword puzzle.
To be fair, it's not 11 p.m. for them when they're doing
they're
it.
probably in California or somewhere. I joke mostly because it always gets settled pretty much. But honestly, Warner Brothers, you know I love you. You know I do. Especially now that we have HBO Max here in the UK. And I can watch all of my favorite shows and everything on there. I was going to say movies and shows, but I've just been watching a lot of movies on there, or a lot of TV shows rather than movies lately. If you need something, you can always email me. I will eventually email you back in about a month or two, when I can remember not password. I know what passwords are, but what email I said that I would contact people on.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, they've been on a bit of a claiming spree with my videos again, and
it's not. See, the thing is, it's because Cape Crusader season 2 has come out. They're kind of, going on what they normally do when a new movie or thing comes out. But we are very a lot of the people that we're friends with online and that, we do online is very copyright friendly. And there is a set of rules that people obey. Mm-hmm. And it's really simple to do that. And honestly, it's kind of fun and sometimes to do it that way because you go around having to, instead of just putting 10 minutes of something in there, you go around and you find different ways to show what you're talking about and all of that. So
yes, you have
I
to
love you,
very...
Warner Brothers, and I won't say that I don't, but it's kind of like when I'm doing my crossword puzzle and I'm in the thing because I'm a certain age, I need my peace at night. Yeah, no, I joke for the most part because it's, but just, I know a lot of stuff is AI, AI scans it, or it scans it with their AI tools, and it automatically does something, but what I would suggest is to maybe hire actual humans to do stuff like that.
If I may interject, YouTube's policies explicitly say they cannot use AI to issue copyright claims. A human being has to review it. And I know for a fact that large companies tend to use agencies that do it. And, not to disparage agency workers, but maybe they're not necessarily experts in the field. They're often hired for the lowest possible price.
They're not paid enough.
No, probably not. But then there's a whole process with getting your video back where you have to file a dispute. They then have up to a month to respond to your dispute. In my experience, they always deny the dispute because it goes to the person that made the copyright claim in the first place. Mm-hmm. You can then appeal, and the appeal will go to someone in the legal team at the copyright holder, so in this case Warner Brothers. Mm-hmm. And in my experience, they always approve my appeals within 24 hours. I've got 4 pending at the moment that I put through this morning, so we'll see if those go through today.
So I thought it had something to do with, are you sure the agencies don't use an AI tool to do this?
They're not supposed to. But to be honest, it's all feeling very kind of frivolous at the moment. There are lots of reasons why they do it. They could take your video down because they don't like what you've done or you're misusing their property. They haven't done that in my videos. They might want the ad revenue, but my videos don't make that much, so that it's unlikely they want that chump change. It's more likely they want access to data, because essentially it's a free focus group for them.
But to be honest with you, I would, if Warner Brothers wanted to see some of my data without it taking the personal, like things that are too personal away from the viewers, I would let them have the info that they would need. But they haven't asked me. And also, I am still available for voice work because, as you can see, it's probably my movie star career was probably dead in the water before it ever started, or it was ever dreamed of. But yeah, it was just a little bit. To be honest with you, I don't make a living off of my YouTube ad revenue, and I don't think that people should go into making YouTube videos thinking that they are automatically going to be able to do that, because eventually with hard work and persistence and stuff you can do that. But as we all know, I'm not the most persistent human being on the planet. I have another job to go along with this that does involve YouTube, but it also involves other things as well. But it's not the like demonetizing a video or something temporarily. It's just ask me for that kind of info if you want it, or what you could do is just hire me and I can be there just putting out positive energy.
Yeah,
it's about all I can do, really.
It annoys me though, because it wastes my time having to submit the dispute, which I know they're going to deny, and then it wastes their time having to deny it, and then someone in their legal team has to go through the appeal and approve it, which they always do. And they should just cut it out.
I can see why it would be important to do that to people that were actually like using videos in a way that they shouldn't. But I have, unfortunately, after Luke had some videos, and then I had some, it was one video or two videos.
Just two.
I also started seeing it amongst some of our friends, but also just some people that do make a living off of YouTube have now had a lot of their videos taken down, and because they haven't experienced that before and they don't know a lot of the verbiage and stuff to use for one of these claims, then they're out a complete, like, they're out of their living for whoever knows how long or whatever. And it really sucks, because in this day and age, it's a lot of people do depend on the internet and stuff to make a living, that have pre-established themselves and stuff like that. And it really sucks because these people don't know when or if they're going to get it back.
Well, yeah, so the concern is it's not so much that the videos are getting censored and taken down.
No.
It's that the control of them is taken away, and any ad revenue is given to Warner Brothers instead, in this case anyway, and the copyright holder, I should say. And the thing is, there is a very clear process for disputing and appealing, but it uses legal language that for some people is quite intimidating.
It's daunting.
It says if you fail the appeal, then the copyright holder can have the right to request your video to be completely removed, and that you will get a strike against your channel. And I know, speaking to some other content creators that have had this happen to them, they've been hesitant to submit an appeal. They've rather just take the loss and, hope for the best. But I shared with them my experience of submitting appeals and every single one being granted within 24 hours.
Anyway, what I do want to credit Warner Brothers with is when they do look at these things, for the most part, from what I've heard and from my own experience, they usually say, "Oh, sorry about that." I mean, not in those words, but it's like they kind of how do you say the appeal goes through, and it's great that they actually take that on board and everything. So that's okay. But it's just kind of for the people that really rely on YouTube and that are properly using, you know, with fair use and everything. It really sucks because it is daunting to have to go through this, especially without like a lawyer or something, if you can't like afford one. And you know, I just can't see how, you know, how that's a sustainable way to also, you know, you get free publicity out of us on older things, you know.
Yeah, and I do get a lot of comments, particularly on this Cape Crusader stuff, actually, with people saying, "You've persuaded me to check this out now. I'm going to give this another shot. I'm going to try this. This actually sounds good." Or, "Oh, I really appreciate this show now." I even get the people that work on the show leaving comments saying I'm getting stuff right. So that's nice too. But, you know, there's some agency worker somewhere probably going, "Oh,
who doesn't get paid enough money."
Who probably doesn't get paid enough money and probably hasn't been trained properly to do their job.
Not because of them.
Making decisions. No, well, it's because of the agency, isn't it?
Yeah.
But making decisions that, you know, impact people in the real world.
So I'll give you an example of agency work that I did. I worked at a place called Converges, and I believe it was in Moore, Oklahoma, and they dealt with DirecTV. Okay, I have had toxicity in retail, but this in itself was so, just because you sit someone down and put them in front of a video doesn't mean that you've taught them. And a lot of the training that I had was just me sitting in front of a video, a VHS video at the time. It wasn't training, but the manager that we had said, "Oh yes, I fully trained you now, and you know, your work is going to be because of me. I am going to be able to take all of the good credit." And that's exactly what they said to me, the good credit. And while they were sitting, I believe it was MySpace at the time, on their laptop going through that, while we were watching the video, that literally just told us what DirecTV was. Basically, you could have gone online on the DirecTV website and got this info. And a lot of us did. A lot of us called DirecTV ourselves and, you know, would say, because a lot of us had DirecTV at the time, would go through different scenarios and, you know, pretend that we were having these issues because we wanted to know how to actually do our job. And I can see even today, some agencies work like that. I'm not saying all of them, because there are some really good agencies out there that do, you know, put effort in and stuff like that. I've seen it myself, but that's just an example of how I view a lot of things, because that's the what I've gone through.
Yeah, it's just kind of tedious that I've had about 150 videos claimed and returned to me now. I've started writing in my appeals, like, you know, this is number 151, this is number 152, please have a word with whoever is filing these, because they are doing so erroneously. But anyway, we've spent nearly 15 minutes talking about that, and we haven't even touched on Calendar Girl yet. Anyway,
let's talk about Calendar Girl.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
all right. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this is a lot of people, when we talk about the new Batman adventures, they say, "Oh, it's not as good as Batman the Animated Series." No, nowhere near as good. Worse, there are some people that go, "Oh, season 4 of Batman the Animated Series really took a dive."
Did it?
It's a separate show.
I was about to say, like, did it though?
Yeah. I know, just because the DVD sets calls it Batman the Animated Series 4 does not mean that it is Batman the Animated Series season 4. But actually, if you go through the list of the episodes, you'll find that most of them, nearly all of them, are excellent. There are a couple that are just fine. But Mean Seasons, which is the episode that introduces Calendar Girl, is one of the former, an excellent episode that is written really in the style of an old Batman the Animated Series episode.
And it has one of my favorite actresses in it.
Yes, yeah, Tippi Hedren, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's interesting casting. So she plays she's the female agent that gets kidnapped at, not agent. Well, I suppose she is an agent, isn't she? She's a fashion agent, designer, recruiter. She gets kidnapped at the start of the episode.
Fashion.
Yeah, she is fashion. That's how we sum her up.
Well, I think she is fashion.
But the whole story with Calendar Girl and how Hollywood chewed her up and spat her out once she turned 30, saying she was too old. I think there was inspired casting getting Tippi Hedren to play a role in this story because she had similar experiences. She had very negative experiences with Alfred Hitchcock. Mm-hmm. And everyone talks about what an excellent director Hitchcock was and how wonderful his films were, but he sounded like an absolute ogre of a man.
Yeah, it's one thing to be good at your job, but having women especially not feel comfortable in certain situations because of how a man feels about something is stupid.
Yeah, like unwanted sexual advances, that kind of stuff. And I felt very sorry for his wife, because she worked on all of his films with him, so she must have seen what was going on.
I don't know her personally.
No, we can't claim to know her personally.
Yeah.
But because she resisted Hitchcock's advances, her career was kind of stalled and held back.
Yeah.
And it's very deeply unfair. And okay, Calendar Girl doesn't have exactly the same story, but there are similar elements to it.
I hate the fact that Hollywood and a lot of the famous fashion houses and stuff used to be very almost anti past 30. Mm-hmm. But then you have people like Tippi Hedren, and then later on you have people like Kate Moss and Helen Mirren and one of my all-time favorites, Meryl Streep. Mm-hmm. They kind of they don't necessarily fight back. They're not saying a big F you to to all of these people. What they do is they break through. They break through a wall that was put there because of people that thought they could make fashion or television or movies the way that they wanted to make it. But a lot of these women, especially Tippi Hedren, said, you know what? I'm going to step over that. I'm either going to fly over this wall, I'm going to kick it in its ass, or I am going to put my well-manicured nails and just scratch at it until there's a hole in there that I can get through. Mm-hmm. And that's what they do. That's what these lovely, awesome women do. And Tippi Hedren is definitely one of the foremothers of that, you could say.
Yeah.
In terms of modern age. And I absolutely, you cannot convince me that Tippi Hedren has ever done bad acting. Ever.
Which Hitchcock film machine was it? The Birds?
Mm-hmm. That's one of my favorite movies. Yeah.
I was just going to say there's a scene in this episode that also kind of has a similar problem, but it's not the same, but it's kind of flipped in a way, in that it's kind of the infantilization of women, because Batman sees Paige Monroe, Calendar Girl's, I guess a highlight reel, and he goes, oh, who's that girl? She's pretty. And Batgirl says, she's the same age as you, Bat Boy.
And that's the thing, that you think that just because this show was made for kids, even though I don't think it was just made for kids, you still get someone like the world's greatest detective who can find a needle in a haystack in 2.5 seconds because he's got such a intelligent mind, still gets caught up in it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I love the realism there, and I love the fact that it shows that even the world's greatest detective can still get blinded by what society has ingrained into him, yet there's always someone that pulls him back, like Batgirl, for instance.
Yeah, and something similar happened in Never Fear, where one of his most senior staff members was being forced to retire because he hit retirement age. And he never thought about it really. He was just like, well, yeah, it's retirement age. But the guy made it clear that he
didn't
really
want to
didn't want to
retire.
go.
He was still having fun in his life.
So Batman thought about it for a little while and was like, actually, yeah, I'm changing policy. No, you can stay for as long as you can do the job. It's fine.
And that's the way it should be, as long as you want to do it. But a lot of what I saw in Calendar Girl, although not one of my favorite characters, really, it felt at different times of when I saw it. When I watched it when I was younger, I felt a different way than I do now. I'll talk about how I feel now as someone who is over 30. And almost to a point of being what people say is middle-aged, I worry even now that this is nearly 30. No, it's over 30 years old, and I worry because a lot of these little things are coming back to the world, and just as I feel like I am starting to become someone in my life that I can not hate, I feel little things like that when I go out. It's like, oh my God, how old are you? Oh my God, you're blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I like my Labubus and I like my, what are the Fugglers and stuff like that. But I am a lot older than I... I let people see me sometimes, and it sucks because as soon as you get that number out there, you see people lose interest in you. No.
And to be clear, it's not just men, it's kind of across the board.
Yeah, it's not just men. Men are a big part of the problem, but let's be doubly out there and say this. Women can be a lot meaner sometimes when it comes to age, especially younger women, obviously, because that's what, certain generations think older women are just, as soon as you hit 45, you're going to go to a nursing home. And it's like, no, that's not really how that works. And yeah, it sucks because women can be just as cruel, if not crueler, to women than men are. And unfortunately, it sucks because when women pit women against each other, it's one of the cruelest things you can witness and be a part of, unfortunately.
And just to bring it back to the topic at hand, we see that with Donna Day, who Tippi Hedren played. She was one of the first people to drop Paige Monroe once she hit 30.
Yeah.
She chewed her up and spat her out. Like, you're no longer worthwhile, even though she was still an attractive person. She was still popular. She still had her fans, but she was just dropped because they wanted something new, something fresh.
Oh, could you imagine doing that to Viola Davis? Oh, no. Oh, could you imagine? I am not a violent person, but I would have words. Like if you told Viola Davis, no, you're too old, I'd be like, what age? First off, she looks like she's 35. And two, that woman is better than you. Looks, mentally and intelligent, she's better than you.
Yeah, and the I guess Calendar Girl's plot it's driven by that insecurity that's come about because people have abandoned her. She's always placed her value in the way she looks, and when she suddenly stops being treated as conventionally attractive, she thinks she's worthless, and she lashes out. Now there's that creepy former agent of hers who is trying to initiate the casting couch when Batman comes in. He he says that there are rumours going around that a plastic surgeon had botched her facelift, and now she was a hideous monster under her mask. And I was sitting there thinking, someone that's 30, 35 doesn't need a facelift. And yet it happens, doesn't it?
If you turn on TikTok sometimes, you see that we grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, and getting a facelift seems so like, wow, at 30 and whatever. And then I saw a video of someone getting like an upper, like in your these two quadrants of your face, and I'm like, oh my god, you're 19 years old.
No.
19 years old. Like, you are ruining yourself.
Yes, you in particular, whoever I'm pointing at. You.
But yeah, it sucks because you know that someone who wrote this had experienced or has witnessed someone experience that, especially in that day and age.
They lived in Hollywood.
Yeah, especially in that day and age.
I think Rich Fogel wrote this one. I think he did.
We like them.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say that Calendar Girl's scheme, one of the things I really like is that her henchmen are basically just like really buff Chippendales that are fans of hers because they're always giving her compliments and like wolf whistling her. Which, in other context might be seen as intimidation, but in this context it's fine because she's a willing participant, right?
Can we just I'm not a dreamer, and I'm not like one of those people that are like, oh my god, this is totally gonna happen because I'm just gonna manifest. Manifesting, if that's your thing, go for it. It's not my thing. But you remember that SNL sketch of Chris Farley and Patrick Swayze when they were like pretending to be Chippendale dancers? That's who I would have as my henchman.
What, Chris Farley?
Yes, and Patrick Swayze as the Chippendale dancers.
But what would Chris Farley be? Would he also be a Chippendale dancer?
You've never seen the sketch?
I am aware of the sketch. I was about to say,
well, yeah, that's the whole point. Is like those two would be my henchmen. I don't need Chippendale dancers. I need the thems, the theys, the gays, the Liza Minnelli lovers, the real Liza Minnelli lovers, and people that will occasionally let me have tomatoes. Because I'm allergic to tomatoes. Yeah.
So I like that there's a scene in this episode where one of the Chippendale dancers, henchmen, walks in on her while she's in her dressing room, and she's just been sat there in the dark with her mask off, and she grabs her mask, puts it over her face, then chucks one of her weapons at him. I think it was like an Easter egg themed weapon. And calls him an idiot. You're not supposed to see me without my face on, or whatever she says. And the obviously the twist with her is that her face is not hideous. She is beautiful, but she can't see it. All she can see is the flaws. And when she gets arrested and Bullock takes her mask off, she has a complete meltdown.
Yeah.
It's very touching.
I don't like this character because I just feel I have always felt a certain way about how I've looked my entire life, whether that's been because of people around me, how society interprets people like me, or something, or myself. Like a lot of it, like 90% of it is myself, and I just, even when I watched this when I was younger, because this is one of the episodes that I remember, like, especially the ending. And I would think to myself, like, oh my God, stop it, lady. Stop thinking that. And then a few minutes later, I was like, oh my God, I've never felt like the way that she had felt at one point in time in her fictional life. But I was like, I hate myself just as much as she does, and I don't like her for that.
Feel seen by her.
Yeah, and I don't remember how old I was when I first saw this or that particular scene, but I was very young, under 10, I think. I think it was under 10.
Yeah, but I think that there were a couple of other characters that were introduced in this show, the new Batman Adventures. Let's get that clear, everyone. That felt like they would have fit in fine in that first run of Batman the Animated Series. Calendar Girl is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
And I like her. I like the episode. I see why she wasn't used again because, well, you know.
She told her story. She didn't need... The story had been told. I think if they would have used her again, it just would have been, you know, too
Cheapened.
much. Huh?
Cheapened.
Yeah, it would have. Because her story only needed really a one-off and not in that big of a, like, just to have a whole episode. It didn't need more.
Yeah, and her crimes were more themed around the seasons rather than specific calendar dates, although she did leave a calendar page with a date circled, which was a specific date to her career. Usually, I think, if I remember rightly, it was when she was let go by these companies. And that's why Bullock calls her Calendar Girl. I like it when villains come around and they don't actually, you know, name themselves as the villain. I mean, then again, there is that funny line in Heart of Ice where Batman points at Mr. Freeze and goes, "Freeze!" And he says, "That's Mr. Freeze to you."
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like it. I prefer it, actually, when the villains don't go around saying, my name is Maxie Zeus. Or my name is... That's not a bad... That is a bad example, because that was his name, Maximilian Zeus. All right, my name is Lockup, you know.
So, did you like this episode?
Yes.
I did not. As I said, the reason why I did not like it was because I didn't feel seen. But no, in all seriousness, it was a good episode. The writing was really great. Yeah, I can't think of a reason to genuinely dislike it other than how dare you know how we feel. Although I'm not a movie star. Yeah, it's again one of those, as it's filled with many of them, one of those times where it feels a little too real for me. And how can you not like something with Tippi Hedren in it? And if you do, mind your business. My business is here, loving Tippi Hedren. Your business can be, you can go with somebody else that I banished, which I don't think I've ever banished anybody, but you don't like Tippi Hedren, you could be the first. And that's what I like about that.
Good. Okay.
So I want to talk about something really quick before we go. I said I wanted this to be half an hour, but that totally...
Hang on, we've got a comment of the week to do.
No, we'll do the comment of the week after I talk about this. There's something coming out this year that I think we've talked about a few times on here. And it's coming really close to when it's coming out. And I just want to talk just a little bit about it today, if that's okay. I didn't even talk to him about it, but I think he knows what I'm going to say. Is Rogues Gallery 2 is pretty much finished, and we're just getting the behind-the-scenes things situated, and hopefully it will be out before the end of the month, I want to say. And I'm really proud of Luke because he works hard on his YouTube channel when he's not working at his regular job. Because Luke, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but he has an actual, like, 9-to-5 job that he does. And when it's not his 9-to-5 job, he does the YouTube stuff, and he works really hard on it. All of his free time that he has, which is not very much, he works on these things, and it's nice to be able to have it in book form, to be able to, you know, in case people don't want to watch YouTube videos, or they have watched the YouTube videos and they just want to, you know, read, you know, what was going on in his head at the time, or whatever, because they are a little bit different than what you actually see on YouTube. And I'm not just saying that because, you know, Luke's my best friend and also my husband. it's one of the reasons that I fell in love with him, is that he gets it, and apparently somebody else thinks you get it too, which is awesome, and I love him for that. Because I say that a lot about when people ask me like, oh, what did you see in Luke? I'm like, he just gets it. And so when I saw the person who wrote the foreword say that, I was like, I say that about him all the time.
To be fair, Dan Reba said it about me in the foreword for the first book as well.
Yeah. And it's amazing that so many other people, see that. But I also think that it's just I admire that you've worked so hard, and this is your second book, and I think they just get better and better as you go.
Hopefully. Yeah,
and the editor, the editor has gotten a little bit better as well. Mm-hmm. And the artwork is one of my favorite parts of the book. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so incredibly proud of Luke and everything that he's accomplished with all of this. And mm-hmm. although it's annoying sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, mainly because he'll be doing YouTube stuff on his phone while I'm trying to do my crossword puzzle. As you can see, I do one crossword puzzle a day, and that's it. That's all I have the bandwidth for. But when you rattle anything around me while I'm doing that and watching Family Guy for the 10,000th time, I'm gonna be annoyed. But yeah, it's really great to see.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm going to make an announcement. We're already working on book 3.
I think people already knew that.
Yeah, I don't know if I've said that before or not, but I've got the foreword for book 3 lined up, which will be nice.
Yeah. And then it's onwards and upwards. And I want to thank all of you for watching and listening to our podcast. And I think this year has shown Luke and I that persistence is great, but sometimes it's not just about persistence. You have to take a look at what you're doing and see what the quality is like and do better in a way. But it's not always about making it 4K. Sometimes it's about doing things differently, and yeah. So with that being said, I look forward to hearing what you guys think about book 2, which will probably be out in the next 2 weeks, before the end of the month. Is it 2 weeks?
It's about 2 weeks.
My life is, I only know what day of the week it is because I look on my Apple Watch.
I don't actually know what the day of the week is. I woke up on Monday and was convinced that it was Sunday, and then was not very happy when I realised I had to go to work. So, oh no!
Yeah. I sometimes know what day of the week it is because my calendar pops up saying that I need to take a picture of my teeth. Anybody who's ever had braces in this day and age, please tell me that it gets better. I've had no pain with my teeth at all. Literally, I've had no pain with my braces. It is just, I am a clincher. I'm a jaw clincher. And, you guys can probably see, it looks like my face is swollen all the time, not just because I'm chubby, but because I have so much tension here. Does that ever get better with braces? Or do you have to wait till after braces to get that benefit of it? Because at night, I wake myself up and I get my teeth, even though I have these chomper things on there, my teeth scrape up against my front teeth, and it's like, or the metal scrapes up against my front teeth, and I'm like, no. Anyways.
So, should we get to the comment of the week?
Yeah, you can cut what I just said out if you like.
No, it's staying in. Minimal editing. So, you know how this works. You all listen to this show, you leave your comments, and then you like the comments that you enjoy, and the one with the most likes will get read out. Now, actually, there was some decent competition this time. There were 2 that had 7 likes, but the winner had 8 likes. And it was from Matis Baranikov, 1794. Now, he's actually one of my channel members, one of my people. But he's left a comment here. And this is on our last episode where we were talking about Cape Crusader Season 2 as a whole. And he says, about Hattie, some people who dislike the gender swap forget the context and the environment that the show is in. 1940s is the era of radio, and TV era is just rising. So what do we get? Propaganda equals mind control, which keeps the essence of Mad Hatter just in a different form. And glamorous and seemingly nice woman is more appealing than a man in that context. The key word here is context, and I do not get it why people are so attached to the source material, ignoring the contextual environment of the show. And there we go. You can see why he's one of my people, can't you?
I just, again, and I've said this many times, if you have a problem with a fictional comic book character that went from being one gender to another gender and a fictional storyline that people have written because they write fiction, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. And if I'm going to say it right now, if you have a problem with trans people, get over yourself. It has nothing to do with you. It does not bother your life. And nothing that a trans person will do, or 99.9% of trans people, do not care about what you think. As in, like, they don't care that you even exist because they have so much going on inside themselves that they have, other things to worry about.
And the thing is, as well, these characters aren't trans. It's not like Hattie Tetch was once.
But
Jervis
you know
Tetch.
what that is. Like a lot of these people that I have seen online talking about these things, how they always have that little part about, well, I don't want this person in my bathroom. Why are you looking at people in the bathroom? If you have a problem with that, I have a problem with you existing close enough for me to go take a tinkle somewhere.
Yeah, and funnily enough, just one final note on Cape Crusader. There's been a kind of a shift in the argument against the show, by the way, where initially it was very kind of hate-driven, like, there's too many black people, or women shouldn't be in positions of power. So now what they try to do is they shift it to saying, well, if this show is set in 1942, they didn't have black people in positions of power. They didn't have female detectives. This show is historically inaccurate and therefore it's terrible. The problem is they're setting themselves up for a massive kick in the teeth there, because this is a show with a literal ghost and a soul-sucking vampire and a face-altering serum and a bulletproof rocket-powered car. But the issue they have is that there is a black police commissioner. By the way, look up a man called Samuel J. Battle, who was admittedly not as senior as police commissioner. He was parole commissioner in New York in the 1940s, an African-American. So it's not impossible. Good night.
I'm so fed up of... it's grinding my gears because of it happened the first go round with Cape Crusader. Now it's happening again, and because there's this movement going on, especially in the States. I love the LGBTQIA plus community. I am a part of that community, and I just find it really... It's gross how people are using someone's sexuality, or the fact that they love somebody, or the fact that they are finally being who they've always wanted to be, as ammo for whatever political thing that they're trying to talk about failing. And they're trying to use it as an ammo, and it makes them look stupid, because what does that really have to do with you? I don't really care what some person, let's say it back home, like back in Oklahoma. I do not care if you see me as a weirdo or a freak because I'm bisexual, I do not care. You have nothing to do with my life. My life is far superior to yours because I actually love people for who they are, as long as they're good people, rather than finding something to hate about them.
Maybe you could phrase it as, I dislike people for who they are, not what they are.
But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it is hard for me to not find something to like about someone. Mind you, I can find things I don't like about everyone too, but so can everybody else. But what I'm saying is, use your love more than your hate, because it's just gross. And it has nothing to do with you. Your children aren't going to be affected by a cartoon like this. If anything, it's going to teach them that fiction can change because it's fictional.
I feel like we've been preaching to the choir a little bit.
Anyways, I'm sorry, guys. I've been reading in the comments on some of these Cape Crusader things too much, and I don't usually do that. I try to stay away from that because I am just... There is a certain type of hatred in this world that just needs to leave. And it will. But right now, I'm going to tell y'all what we're going to talk about next week.
Yeah, do it.
X-Men 97 Season 2.
That's not DC Animated Universe.
No, I have to talk about it. There will be a lot of spoilers, but a huge one in particular that made me bawl my eyes out.
She did.
I bawled my eyes out.
For a good 10 minutes after it ended as well. You're like, oh, that was so perfect.
Yeah, but I really want to talk about it because it shows going from, these shows that have just come out and just finished, there's respective seasons. Wow. It shows that people that came from my generation really, really, really understand what society needs right now. And I cannot give them enough props for that. And it's great. You'll hear more of my thoughts about it next week.
All right.
So not next week, but the week after next.
So you've got 2 weeks to watch all of X-Men 97. It's easily done. They're like 20-minute episodes.
Yeah, it's really good too. Yeah. And with that, bye. I love you guys. Put your sunscreen on. The heat out there is getting to everybody. And if you've actually made it through to this moment, congratulations. And also, I am on ADHD medication now, so it will get better in the future.
Maybe.
Okay,
Fingers
goodbye.
Crossed. Bye.